Oh, I'm Mike, Cheryl's less better half. I'm going on Ozempic, you know, that pen jab that reduces fat. Just
Need a bath. Oh, I'm loving it.
I can use the word fat because that's what it does. Suppresses your appetite. You'll know about this. So why and how on earth did that come about? I'm 67. I'm getting on a bit. I'm doing okay. I graze. I eat too much throughout the day. Then I'll have my tea. So I'm grazing all day. It seems that I cannot sort of think, okay, yeah, I don't want any more to eat, but and I do. So, give you a few stats, I suppose. That's the easiest way to say it, isn't it? So I'm 67 years old, just had a birthday. Thank you for those who wish me happy birthday in the comments. Thank you. I'm 5'6". I used to be taller. I did. You do lose height, don't you, as you get older? I've got bad hips, so it means I can't walk far. But as you've probably seen from some of the videos, I do get on with things despite that. You know, we're renovating our house. It took a bit of doing, to be fair. Type 2 diabetic. I should have mentioned that first, you know, in line with the Ozempic jab, anyway. And I also have a tremor. I'm on a lot of different prescribed drugs. I do not like that. So how on earth did I get to the point where I asked a doctor, it was actually the nurse, diabetes nurse, mentioned to her about the fat jab, as I call it, or fat pen, which is fair enough because that's, I think, how it's commonly mentioned. And she said, yeah, and she told me about it, made me an appointment to go see her, which is in a week's time. Being type 2 diabetic and overweight is not a good place to be, particularly as I'm very active. So my blood sugar levels, despite all the different prescribed drugs I'm on to control it, it is up and down. And I've also been a little bit concerned about visceral fat, I think it's called, you know, around my organs, internal, that I don't see. Anyway, we had a conversation, me and the nurse, and the reason for it was my latest blood results pertaining to diabetes. They were at 6.5, which is too high. But imagine what there would be if I wasn't renovating the house every day. They'd be very high. And she had some concerns, and so did I. So I mentioned the fat jab, the pen. I'm going to refer to it as the pen. She told me a little bit about it, made an appointment to go see her, and away I go, but it'll be in about a week. So I thought I'd make a little bit of a diary of it. So today is what date? It is the 7th of May 2026. It's polling day for a lot of people in the UK. And I go see her in exactly 7 days' time, next Thursday. I am 14 stone 12, too much in it, 14 stone 12, 5'6", type 2 diabetes with bad hips. It's not good. And, you know, I think at this point in my life, I just want to try and get sorted, try and get another, and everybody says this, another 10 years worth of healthy living if I can, you know. I often don't feel well many days, but anyway. I got here over really a 30-year period. So 37 years ago, my work changed from being extremely active in the building trade to more sitting down and not doing a great deal other than travel up and down the country, representing a company that was based in New York. I was selling a service. That service was, I'll buy your computer circuit boards, the redundant ones, and I was buying those so that our company, ASK it was called, could refine those circuit boards and get the precious metals, gold, silver, palladium, that sort of thing. And while I was running up and down the country, sat in a car, and I mean, you know, thousands of miles, I was eating chips and chocolate. And then I stopped doing that and I started doing something else. But nevertheless, over, say, a 10-year period, I went from, say, 14 stone, which I wasn't bothered about back then, because I was a lot younger, up to 18 stone. Yes. And then I started feeling well, got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. More or less at the same time, it was coincidence, this essential tremor also kicked in. That essential tremor is that there's a misconnect in my brain, a short, let's call it that. It is hereditary, but anyway, that's a different story. So I'm going to keep a diary of this Ozempic, see how I do. I've already, me and Cheryl have already got the types of food in that I'll probably like to eat and are good for me while I'm on this jab. Soups, which is difficult for me to eat because with an essential tremor, holding a spoon is very difficult. But nevertheless, we've got some of those in, some of the softer foods, put it that way. The difficulty that we'll have, but I'll work alongside the nurse with this, and of course Cheryl, is that I'm prescribed metformin and another type 2 diabetes medication. And because I'll still be active, I hope, renovating the house, and not eating like I have been doing, the medications prescribed could reduce my sugar levels, and that might cause me issues, problems. So we've got that to balance, and I'm sure we will do. So watch this space. Every week I'll put my weight on at the side of it and tell you a little bit about how I've been feeling. I am expecting things like stomach cramps, nausea, feeling bloated, perhaps feeling unwell. And I guess the dosage will be prescribed to me so that that's at least get to a minimum. What I've said, what I asked the nurse, was if I could have like a 3-month trial on this. We're going to talk about that. And I know that what people do, they worry about the end of that trial, as it were, for me, that they'll put the weight back on, and that might be true. it might well be that this particular medication, I stay on it, but at a low dose, just to control my eating habits. I'm not worried about it at all. In fact, I'm actually looking forward to it, which is why I made this sort of video diary and is sharing it for you, or with you, I should say. So that will be my Ozempic, if I'm saying it right, diary. In other news. So I got this book. Oh. So you might know I'm trying to stop smoking. I have been trying to stop for the last 6 months since me and Cheryl was made redundant. Cheryl's working again. I'm retired, by the way, but I want to stop smoking. And I've heard a lot about this book. I've got to read the book and I've got to stop smoking. I might end up tearing the pages out, putting them into, rolling them into a cigarette and smoke it. I've got to stop. I've smoked, and I don't know whether you have similar stories, but I've smoked since I was 14 years old. A long time, isn't it? 67 now. And it started in the usual way. Quick story. I had my first cigarette when I was what we call twagging from school, truant from school, and I was sat on the side of a drain, Bamston Drain in Hull. Called it Lecky Drain because the water was used from it in a cooling tower for a local electric generating company. Anyway, water was always warm, so we used to go there, we used to have a swim. It also drained other land in and around Hull, but that's not the point. So I'm sat there with a mate of mine, Rob Morse, and he smokes, and he said, "You want a cig?" And I said, "Yeah," and that was it. So from the age of 14 onwards, I've smoked. I've stopped once or twice, but yeah. So this book is going to help me stop. Do you believe that? I don't know. Cheryl says she'd like me to stop smoking, but I've always smoked, so it's going to be more difficult. Maybe though, you know, if I can get a bit healthier in my approach to life, maybe that will help. As some of you might know, that I'm also in recovery from cancer. I had surgery about, I think it was a year ago now, for prostate cancer. 10 years before that, I was also diagnosed with a blood cancer, but that turned out to be a false positive, whatever that means. But anyway, so I want to get a bit healthier, despite what you see on these videos. And I've got some clips coming up of a little bit of gardening that I do. I'm not particularly healthy, you know, and I don't think that's my age anymore. Anyway, have a quick watch of the clips and then come back to me. So, I got my drive all nice and clean. Also got the sound in. Willow's out here somewhere. There she is. What are you up to? Anyway, got the sand in, just got to finish sweeping it, which is what I'm about to do. But I have a slight issue here. Just look at this oil stain. Now I've been over and over that with a jet wash. I've also put some WD-40 on it as well. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to give it a scrub, soapy water. If that doesn't work, then I'll have to get a product, you know. Anyway. Are you inspecting? Nothing there. Next thing I'm gonna do, wash powder and carpet cleaner. We'll see how that gets on. I've got to keep Willow indoors now. We'll see how that gets on. So I've given this a good scrub. I also tried a different product. I'll show you. You ready for this? Holt's Easy Start. It was to help start them old cars I had. But it's will remove oil. We'll see. A few clips. I'm doing up the garden, cleaning the driveway front when you'll see that patch of oil. I will get rid of that, you know, it'll take a bit of doing, but that will go. So in other news, Willow's reasonably well. She's just been a nuisance. Willow is our whippet, just by the way. She's fast asleep at the moment, thank goodness. But it's like having a 5-year-old running around the house. I'm a bit over it, to be honest, but I wouldn't have it any other way, really. Cheryl's busy working. She has had some days off. And I think she had 6 days off, but only one of those days did she have to herself, as it were. She nipped up to Beverley. Bit of shopping for her. Beverley's a lovely small town in the East Riding of Yorkshire, if you don't know it. Anyway, she jumped on the train and off she went. Had a nice day there. But she's very busy working. Hundreds of students all demanding from her, you know. The company she works for is good, but they're short of skilled staff. The job Cheryl does, I did for years. In fact, I owned and run the business. And I might have, sent them a CV and said, look, this is what I do. But Michelle had a good talk about it, and I did mention, didn't I, that I was going to retire January this year, 26. And I actually put a posting on LinkedIn saying I've retired, and I got hundreds of people saying good luck and all the rest of it, ex-students. But then my membership that I have to pay, which means I can do my job, I didn't cancel. I didn't stop the membership. I kept it going because me and Cheryl were still unsure. I doubt whether I'll ever do that work again, but I do kind of miss it, The people I see, my next door neighbour, now and again, he's 87, fitter than me, just by the way. Cheryl, of course, and Willow. That's it. Occasionally, my daughter and her husband Andy will pop down, so that's nice. But I don't see people, and I don't talk to people. I was going to say person, I don't mean that. The most I ever talk to anybody is Willow, my dog. Cheryl says you're chatting away to her. She can hear me, she works from home. I say, yeah, but, who else do I talk to all day? Anyway, it's a different story. So, I hope you enjoyed the clips. I will be back a week today, let you know how my visit to the doctors has gone, and chat a little bit more about my health and what I'm trying to do, and more specifically why. It's not just about my weight and how I'm physically feeling. I'll maybe open up a little bit more. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't, all usual. And I'll see you in a week. Bye for now.
Need a bath. Oh, I'm loving it. Just class that as. Just recap, it's the next morning. So on another video,